One of the most dangerous things about the spiritual path is thinking you need something outside of you to walk it. And that's how the world keeps us seeking and chasing by convincing you you're not already whole. But the real journey begins when you stop searching and start remembering who you truly are. We were never disconnected, just distracted. The world will sell you spiritual healing, but your power is already within. And part of what keeps us distracted is this idea that we need to connect to something outside of ourselves to be spiritual. When the path is about remembering who we truly are. A lot of us was raised with some sort of spiritual practice or ritual, some of us, and it became a part of our identity. And then suddenly it can turn into a routine, then a competition about who's more real, who's more awakened, who's doing it right, who's doing it wrong. It becomes an identity thing. But that feels much like the world we live in. What you're really searching for can't be bought. It cannot be branded or performed. It was never out there. It's been within you all along. The illusion is to have us thinking that we need something to be whole. Spiritual practices are not wrong, but if they don't come from genuine alignment, then isn't it just a performance? Your power was never for sale. It was never something you had to purchase or buy. Because I've had many try to sell me spiritual healing before. It doesn't matter what rituals you perform or how many symbols you carry. The power lies within. The power is not within this. I've had this for many years. The power is not within this here. It's within. It's within. And it's only when you are in alignment with your true self, you know it the way it is. You know that. When you're not in alignment, we only know it the way the mind interprets it or the way they sell it to us. I can't believe for you. I can't awaken for you. And that reveals that the power lies within each and every one of us. It's a divine experience of remembrance. And no matter how many spiritual practices we do, unless you have this experience with the realized self, it seems like just a practice. And many people seek spiritual healing from rituals by becoming a part of a movement. But all this does is add an identity if there's no inner transformation. You were born, you are a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. But somewhere along the way, the world convinced us that we're incomplete. So we start chasing attention, validation, pleasure, and avoiding pain, thinking maybe if we just feel good enough, we'll feel whole again. Have you ever pondered why we chase and pursue happiness? To feel whole. But no matter how much we chase, we still feel lost. It was like this for me until I realized nothing in this world is sufficient enough. And out of that emptiness, we seek healing. But even that gets sold to us, packaged, marketed, performed. And that's the lie. And lies are formed for control. People only lie when they want to control the situation. I've recognized that in my own self, taking accountability for my lies. I wanted to control the situation. Almost like protect myself in a way, but it's still control. Still control. And that's the lie, that we need something to be whole again. And then before you know it, we're not healing. We're performing another role. This is one of the worst traps we can fall into on the spiritual path, trying to look the part instead of being the truth. But we don't need to look whole. You already are. And that's what I mean. That's what it means to wake up. Because once you do, you stop chasing and you start remembering. And what most people don't say enough, I don't think people say it enough. Spiritual awakening isn't about adding more to our lives. It's about losing what's not real, what's not aligned. It leaves you literally sitting in silence. You don't gain a new identity in awakening. We begin shedding the one that the world handed to us. We shed that, and your more authentic being arises. Your authentic expression arises from that wholeness. If you're not careful, they will sell you spiritual healing, sell you an identity, because that's all it is. The real power is within you. And the more we surrender, when the ego steps back, then we begin to align with the rhythm of something beyond us, something beyond this body. This is not about bashing spiritual practices, but maybe a gentle reminder to someone who is ready to surrender. Every time we choose ourselves, we recover. Have you ever pondered that? Coming home to yourself feels like a sweet surrender. We recover from chasing, avoiding, escaping. Something in us, when we surrender, something exhales. When these words come to my heart, I write them down, and they become a letter to you. I don't think I've ever liked writing letters, but here I am. Spiritual awakening is about remembering the truth. Yet, if you observe, it can be used to control, for profit, to condemn instead of heal. I was raised in the church, and what always stuck out to me was the one part in the scripture where Jesus was a little upset, to say the least, and that was in the temple. He called them thieves. He called them pretenders and liars. He said they did not have the truth in their hearts. Now, there's nothing wrong with the church, but if you understand that you are the church, that you are the source, that your power lies within you, then you won't be controlled by any lies or rituals or any practice. And I meditate, I practice stillness. I think most of my reflections points to stillness. As a matter of fact, there are many times when I just want to be alone. So I'm not condemning any practice here. As always, don't just do the practice, be the practice. If you want peace, be that peace. The practice should point us to where the power lies. In the silence, you awaken. And in the stillness, it's like you're remembering. And it's not a memory. It's wholeness. It feels familiar because you were never incomplete. This is the reason for the practice or rituals. When the heart is in tune with existence, that is where I remember the powerful being that I am. And that is the true purpose of awakening, to align so that we don't have to survive life anymore. We awaken from the illusion and we flow with life. It's only when we're alone, when everything gets quiet, that you start to hear the parts of you that doesn't really speak in words. And that's not emptiness, that's you coming home to yourself. I remember when I was younger, going through my first breakup, I needed to go back home to mom, just go back home. There was a need to go back home. It brought a sense of feeling safe again. Well, home is right where your feet are. In that silence, you're not performing, you're not reacting, you're just being. Have you noticed how relaxed you are when you're alone? But the moment someone enters into the space, something shifts. You start adjusting, monitoring, becoming more self-conscious. Before I started recording, I did the same thing, adjusting, making sure I look presentable to you guys. But the true self, it's the one that is steady in silence. It's steady in the noise. It was steady in the heartbreak. It's steady when we grieve. It's steady when the body is sick. That's the true self. That's where the source is. And the more you can sit in that, the more you remember you were never missing anything in the first place. You are more powerful than you think. Doesn't come from rituals or performing. It comes when we align with the source of all existence. The practice is potent when it's done in spirit and in truth. What I do know is to heal spiritually, you must unlearn everything the world taught us, even the practices you were raised to believe in. This is why a sure sign of awakening is that it strips us of what we thought we knew. It renews the mind so much that you think you're losing your mind. And in a way, you are. You slowly become more attuned or in tuned with your soul, not your mind. Awakening will make you question everything, even your identity. It leaves you empty. And that is scary at first. It was for me, because the world has taught us that we need to hold on to something or become something in life to be whole. That's what keeps us chasing. But the emptiness you feel on the spiritual path isn't empty. It's freedom. Spiritual healing is not about playing spiritual roles filled with rituals and practices, because the old self can easily take on that role. I've recognized that in myself in the past, and maybe that is my reminder right now to be aware. But don't you worry. If you stay quiet, if you ask for truth, it will come and kiss you. Yeah, it will come and kiss you. When we sincerely ask for truth, the truth begins to speak. Not through noise, not through instructions or distraction. All of that noise becomes a lesson, but through your own stillness. That is home. That is home. Because what you're really looking for already knows how to find you. What we all are looking for already knows how to find us. Just like I found you. So if you're quietly awakening, searching for spiritual healing, know that your power lies within you. You don't have to go searching. What you seek has always been seeking you. Stay in the silence of your own being. The guidance you're looking for comes from within. Now, I'm not here to tell you what form or fashion it will happen, but you will know it, because it will come and kiss you. So maybe this is just a letter to remind you, and the spiritual healers out there, your power lies within. Spiritual healers embodies truth. It is only the truth that sets us free. But before the truth sets us free, it asks us to face it. Face yourself. That's the awakening. That's the healing. Thank you for sitting with me today. Feel free to leave a comment if anything aligns for you. And let's continue to spread the love. As always, thank you again for listening. Thank you.